All right. So, welcome everybody to this webinar. Thank you for coming. Um, this session is basically to take you through the Insyt Network Marketing program, take you through what exactly it is, and then to also take you through a quick demo of how the Insyt data collection tool works. So Insyt Network Marketing is basically an opportunity for you to make some money on the side, to get some regular income, and this can be achieved by basically going out and selling our Insyt tool, getting people to sign up and to pay to use the Insyt tool. Basically, you get commission on every sale that you make. So how does the marketing program work? What you do is you sign up clients using your unique code. So I've sent every person who has subscribed an email. In that email, you have your unique code. It would go something like promo.isoko.com / and then there's a code, which would be some form of your first name and surname. So that's the unique code. You need to get every client that signs up onto Insyt through you must use that unique code. That's what they must type into their browser. So for instance, I would type promo.isoko.com / my unique code is Fuga. So I type that. And that is what takes me to the Insyt landing page. So you have to make sure that everybody that you sign up uses your particular URL. That's the only way that we can track that person is indeed signing up through you. And that's how you will then be able to get your commission. So the first package we have, so Insyt has two payment plans. One is the pay-as-you-go plan, and one is the enterprise plan. So the pay-as-you-go plan is for individuals and people looking to do small data collection projects. That is $25 per form, and as a marketer, your commission on that will be $5. So you get a $5 commission for every pay-as-you-go client that you get on Insyt. You get a $5 commission per client. And then for the enterprise package, that's a bigger package for larger organizations. The enterprise package itself is $299 per month. So the commission that you get for signing up an enterprise client is $99 per client. So you have the pay-as-you-go $5 commission per client, enterprise package $99 commission per client. So how to get started? So you register as a network marketer for free. You don't have to pay anything to be a part of this program. Then we do an introductory meeting. I've called I think majority of the people that have signed up. I've given everybody a call and we've had a conversation. I've sent all of you your unique URL and starter kit. So I'll also go through what is in the starter kit. And then basically you just start signing up clients. Once you learn about what Insyt does and how it works and what it's used for, you can then go and target potential clients, sell them the idea of Insyt, and then once they sign up, you easily earn your commission via your mobile money. So the starter kits that we put together is basically is all the resources you need to help you learn about Insyt and to better serve or answer questions asked by prospective clients. So first is the starter guide. So the starter guide is what is the current slides that I'm going through. That's the starter guide. That gives you an overview of what the Insyt Network Marketing Program is. Then we have the product sheet and the online resources and FAQs. So if you just go to, this is the folder that I sent to everybody. There was a Google Drive link, and these are all the files that you'll find within it. So this is the starter guide here. This is the product sheet. That gives you more of a detailed understanding of insights of the app and what it does. It also has a list of online resources, so videos that can help you understand insights, as well as frequently asked questions that I'm sure a lot of prospective clients will ask. So you can use that as a reference guide for some of the questions that are frequently asked. Then we have the user manual. The user manual is more technical. So the user manual will show you how to do specific things on the Insyt app. So how to add questions, how to delete questions, how to add validations, and all of that. So that's more in depth. So that's basically like the demo, which we're coming to have in video form. But then this is the written version of the manual. Then you have the client's presentation. The client presentation is to help you when you're pitching to clients, prospective clients. It will basically help you to capture what Insyt is about. So it's just a PowerPoint, which goes through, you know, what problem is Insyt trying to solve. So the problem that people usually have with data collection is that there's data errors, and they have issues with data timeliness. They have issues with tracking enumerators, and then making sure that information flows in an optimized way. So Insyt basically is the solution for that. Which it is a web-based platform that allows for real-time data collection using any smartphone, and you can use it with or without an internet connection. It's as simple as, so you just create a form. Once you create the form, you use your mobile device to collect the data, and then that data comes to you in real time on your PC or on your monitor. You know, reasons for what are the benefits for going digital with Insyt. You can manage multiple surveys. You can fill mobile forms faster. You have the real-time data gathering. You have improved data quality. It eliminates human errors. So there's a list of all the different things all the different benefits that you can get with Insyt. This goes further into the features. So how do you get improved data quality? On Insyt, there's validations, there's geofencing, error management, data cleansing. So all of this will come out in the demo as well. You'll be able to see the different features of Insyt that gives you improved data quality. It helps you improve your speed when implementing surveys through the different features. You also have improved teamwork. You can collaborate with your teammates across different geographical spaces. And then it also helps you reduce your cost. It's easily scalable. And then you also save on printing and logistics. So these are some of the use cases of Insyt for profiling and registration, monitoring and evaluation, academic and market research, GIS surveys and mapping, interviews and questionnaires, field surveys, impact assessment. Insyt can basically help with any survey that you would traditionally have used a paper form to collect the data. Insyt basically changes or transforms the whole data collection journey and makes it simpler and easier for people that are into the data collection space. And then these are the different plans. So you have a free trial, and then as I said, the standard package, the pay as you go, the $25 per month, and then the enterprise package. So these slides are basically supposed to help you when you're talking to your clients, prospective clients. You can just show them the slides or share it with them so that they understand what Insyt is. And then there's some social media. There's a flyer and some social media artworks that will also help you when you're trying to promote insights. But always remember that let people use, when you're sharing the links, let people use the unique promo code that I gave everybody. Make sure that people are using that specific promo code. Okay, so that's just an overview of what the Insyt Network Marketing Program is. So I'll pass it on to my colleague Otis, and he'll do a demo of Insyt and give a quick demo of how Insyt works and what it can do. So Otis, if you can take it away.
Oh, okay. So Daniel.
Otis.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, it's still recording. Okay, yeah. So you can share your screen.
My screen, okay. Yeah. So first, I'm going to share the what you are going to be talking about. Okay. So this is what we are going to be talking about, the introduction, which Simon has already done, components of Insyt, and then creating a form. There are two ways of creating a form. First of all, you need to structure your form. How are you going to structure it? So we talk about that. We talk about the components of the form, and then we talk about the status management, which is a low-level organizational flow. We also have the response management, we have the report geofencing, and then the review exercise. That is one of the wow factors on Insyt. And then there is one that I just put. So that's the dashboard. We have another one, that's the dashboard. So the dashboard actually gives you, it gives you the opportunity to visualize your data as it streams in or as it comes in. And so that is another wow factor you can be talking about to your client. As the data comes in, they can just do a proportion, they can just do a time series, they can anything they want to do, they can have an access to visualize the data coming in, and then as it flows in, they can use that in their report writing and stuff. So this is basically what we are going to be talking about. I am going to switch my screen to the main one, so you can keep notes of this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Simon. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you see my screen?
Yes. I can see it.
Okay. So this is the landing page. So this is a login screen. Daniel, I think it will be. I would love if you can also be asking questions along the way. Maybe it may not be, because of the time factor. But then if you can be asking questions along the way, that would be very great. Okay, so this is when you once you sign up and then you get to the landing page. I'm going to quickly switch to what I did. Okay. So this will be your landing page. We have templates that has already been, you can use to quickly design or create your form. So on the left side of the panel, you have your hamburger menu. Now you can switch from the Insyt web application to the analytics using this hamburger menu, or you can do so by going through the form, and then when you get to the form, you get there, when you select the form, and then you go to analytics, it also takes you there. So there are two ways of just switching to the analytics. Now we have the settings that gives you the opportunity to edit your sign up details and then your subscription, as well as update your subscription to the organization name. Always make sure this button is checked. What happens is that when agents are on the field and then they keep on storing data, saving the responses, you have the opportunity to see whatever responses that has been saved on their device. So that is basically what this does. Now there is another wow factor on Insyt. Simon spoke about. We call it the collaboration. You are giving your team members, your colleagues, the opportunity to have access to whatever you are doing on the company's account, or even on your account. And then you can also set a validation, or you can control their access. So for instance, if I am in the finance department and I'm having a common form for the whole team, and then I can give them access and then limit their access. So once I give, let's see, and then Simon at Isoko. Simon at Isoko. So once I send the invitation, I'm inviting Simon to come in and have access to it. Automatically, she's given a full access. So whatever form that is within my space, she will have access to it. But if I want to limit her access, what I do is that I come to the edit button here, the edit sign, and because I have only one form here, if I had more than one, I would see the list here. And then I can change from the full access to the particular form that I wanted to have access to. To realize that the access control has been limited to just one form. If I had a list of them, I can just select. So this is, you can select more than one form. That is what it means. And I just update. So Simon goes into a mail and then sees the invitation, clicks on it. When she comes into my space, this is what she'll be seeing. Now, when Simon comes into my space, goes into her account, and then she comes here, she would see forms and then project. What it means is that the project, anytime you see a project here, it means you've been invited to have access to somebody's account. So then you can just switch to the project and then select the particular project that you've been invited to, and then I have access. Now, if I switch from here to that place, it means that I've moved from my space to his space, and anything that I'll be doing in his space. So this is the manage or the collaboration we spoke about. Now you can go to the profile, which is in your user manual. You change the name, and then now there is one advantage here. Assuming somebody is you are on a project and then you've been moved to a different department, and then somebody comes to replace you. He or she doesn't necessarily have to create a different account. More so if you have a project ongoing, you have forms and agents are collecting responses to. You don't need to create a new account. All you have to do is that you just have to come in and edit the new user email address and then the phone number to update the account. Now we have the billing. So the billing, any billing process that has gone on. So this is where you see your invoicing. It will be in a list. The invoice, the date you did the payment, and then everything will be there. You can print them out and then attach to your report when you're going for your funding, when you're going for it to extend your funding. So basically this is, and then this is where we have the subscriptions you spoke about. And now we have standard and then you have enterprise. Now you can make a payment and then decide to extend it because of maybe the timelines has changed. You can extend it when you come to extend, to just give the opportunity to extend the duration. Basically, that is what. And then if I want to change from a standard to an enterprise, I'll just click on this and then I will move from paying for just one form to paying for the account. That is where your subscription allowance goes up. Now we have the password and then we have the local, that is the languages we support on Insyt. So we are going to create a form. Now, when you click on blank form, it is the same as create form. So I'm just going to give you and then you give a description. So the description actually helps when somebody is joining a form. He has to know the form actually he or she is joining. So this is, we can just give a brief description. This is live demo. As many as you can. Then you set goals. Now make sure, always tell your people that always let the client be aware that the track responses on a map is actually meant for their own good. You get to know where the responses are coming from. The agent doesn't have control over it. So agents, you tell them to go collect responses, and then when the responses are coming in, you are looking at the source or the location where the responses came from. So always make sure this is checked. Actually, it comes auto-checked. So if you don't want to know where the responses are coming from, you can just uncheck it and then you click on add. questions. Now, there are different forms, or there are different types of variables, and then depending on where you go. When you go into a research environment, they will be asking you questions such as, is this categorical, is this numeric, is it a string? And yes, we have all those that we're talking about. You just have to understand the question type and then what you can use it for. Now, these are the components of the form I spoke about. Now, once you are in the form, it changes from initially it was just forms and then settings. Now it has changed from form to questions, response, report, analytics, and then remember I spoke to you about analytics, where when you go to the hamburger menu on your left, you can switch. So I can either switch from here, or when I get here, I can switch to the analytics. It's still the same thing. We have the geofencing and then we have the form settings. Now, in creating a form, you need to structure your form. First of all, you ask yourself, is this a single occurrence? So there are two ways of creating a form. One, a form can be a single occurrence data structure or a multiple occurrence data structure. A single occurrence data structure is a set of questions that comes once. So for instance, your location, you're asking somebody a question, what is your location, or what is the location of the household or the person you are collecting responses for. Now, this question is repeated per each respondent. If you want to be asking a series of questions, maybe about their household or about the things they do, which is recurring, so which commodity did you purchase in 2017? Then the person can say, oh, okay, I purchased XYZ. Now you want to know the cost per each. Can I continue?
Yes, you can continue.
So you want to know the cost per each. Now in that case, the question for cost will be repeating or it will be recurring. So in that case, when you are creating your form, you categorize them. This is a single occurrence, questions that comes once, and multiple occurrence, that questions that repeat on its own, like household member details. You want to know each member, what the member does. That's the person, has the person been to school, their age, their gender. So within the household, you are asking a series of questions about each member. Those questions are recurring. And then there are questions that will be skipped depending on your skip pattern. And there are questions that will not be skipped. If it's a male within the membership details, there are questions that has to be skipped. So these are structuring your form. Now we are going to create a simple form, a single occurrence data structure form, where I'm going to be asking about. So let's start using the number. So the number is actually used to collect responses that are numerical value. So anything you want to ask about that has a number, so your age, how much you spent, the number of your household members, how many organizations have you worked with, all those ones are numerical value, they are continuous. So you use the number question type for a numerical variable that is continuous. You can as well use for something that is a ratio, or you can even use for, so basically it's used for numerical variables. So I'm going to ask a question like, okay, phone number, just a basic one. And then I choose the question type. Now I have these two fields. This is required. So when I make sure, when it is checked, what it means is that this question or this form, once the person's complete filling it, cannot submit if this question has not been answered. So for instance, phone number, I decide, okay, let me skip this question. I don't want to. Because of this checked, this is required, this mandatory check, he or she cannot submit the response. Now we have the accepted decimals. You can delete if you feel like, oh no, I'm supposed to, this is not a question I'm supposed to bring here. It's supposed to be maybe age or even the phone number. I want somebody to be entering +233 and before the phone number comes. So I don't need actually this. I need to switch between number and then say text or different question type. So when I come to more, I click on the kebab menu. I have three options: change question type, insert question below, and then duplicate. Now, so change question type. When I click on it, it switches. You realize that the number of question types here has reduced because this is a default selection. The number is a default selection. So you don't see the number here again. So I can switch from number to text. You have the options to indicate which fields to remove when you are switching. But then because I've not applied any skip or validation, I just switch it. Now it has moved from number to text. The reason being that because I want them to start giving me a number that starts with +233, +233. So then I'll state, okay, please make sure the number you are entering starts with +233. That is why I'm changing it. But in my case, I'm not going to do that. So let me just change the question type back to number. Now we have the validation and then skip logic. Now the help text here is or the instruction helps you better explain the response you are expecting from the respondent. So I can say, please make sure the number you are giving me is your active line. So please make sure number, the phone number is your active line where we can reach you on. You can write. So this is just a help text to help you explain the questions better. Now we have the keyword. In the research environment, whenever they are going to do, they'll ask you like, okay, can we represent this form, this lengthy question, with say a symbol, or we say the section type. So assuming I had section A, question number 1. In the research environment, this is how they use their keyword. So the keyword is just a short form, a pseudonym of representing the entire question label. So this is the question label. So this is the question type or the label. Now, if you want to, they call it variable ID. So this is the variable ID, and then this is the variable label in the research environment. So there is going to be, assuming this is section 1 and then question 1, we'll do something like section 1, Q1. That is how they want to represent this question. Or I can say, then I use the symbol for number. My keyboard is something. Okay, so basically that is what it means. So the short way of representing the entire question label or the variable label. Now we have another one that is a regular expression. It says even that there's a help text here. Regular expression is also a validation, which checks that if I say I want 10-digit phone number, I can set a validation such that if the person doesn't enter 10-digit, he or she cannot, even though he or she is responding, if it doesn't enter 10-digit, he or she cannot submit the response. So simple, which you wouldn't need actually. This you wouldn't need 0 to 9, and then just 10-digit. Then I just close it. Then state whether it is an integer or it's an integer I. Then I come and give an example. Maybe 020 840 1676. So because it's not up to 10-digit, it is giving me that red ribbon shade here. Now when it goes beyond that, when it gets to that thing, it disappears because it's 10-digit. So this is the example the client will be seeing. We also have the minimum and then the maximum. You are just allowing them to choose from a range. Then we have the extra validations that is used as a response summary. Skip this question. This is the conditional branching, validation, autofill, and then checkpoint. Now I'll start from the down. If I have a question such as consent statement, you agree that we continue with this exercise with you, and then the person says no. What it means is that the rest of the questions are not necessary for the person again. The survey has to end. In that case, I will use the checkpoint. So when I trigger the checkpoint, then it will ask me to add a rule. Now I will choose that if the consent statement equals no, end the form. So anytime somebody chooses no, I don't want to participate in this survey, it automatically ends the form. That is what the checkpoint means. Now, we have the autofill. The autofill actually pre-populate already answered or already captured answers. So I go into a community, I'm in Greater Accra, Matachimota, and then I'm selecting, what do you call it? I'm doing a survey. The first household is in Achimota, the second household is in Achimota. I don't need to be repeating, selecting the same location. So I can put an autofill on it, such that when I select the first household, the location of the first household, which is Greater Accra, Achimota municipality, and then I'll enter, maybe the person is at Vortic House. Now, when I move into the next household, because they are within the same locality, I don't need to be selecting that question over and over again. I can use the autofill on that question type, such that anytime it is selected, it pre-populates whatever decision that has been captured already. So I go into the next household, and the Greater Accra, Achimota municipality, and then Vortic House, because I already selected it, it will come. Now, if I feel like, okay, no, I've moved from Vortic House to, say, Achimota Mall, then I can do the race selection again. But basically, this helps you to pull back anything that has been stored. Now, let me just end on this. I'll definitely get to the remaining three with different question types. So we have another question type, which is the image, it is used to capture photo. I'm not going to talk about that. It's just as easy as this way. You give them the question, label, help text. We spoke about the variable ID or the variable, the keyword, the pseudonym for the entire question here. This is required. You can put your validations on it as I did earlier on. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to delete this question. Then add. We have another one, the introductory text. It is not actually a question type that is requiring the respondent to answer. It's a way of introducing the set of questions or the questionnaire to the respondent. So you can use the introductory text to give a statement. Okay, this goes about, or this survey we are going to do has to do with X, Y, Z, and it's just an introduction of whatever is going to happen. So it is not something that you have to answer to. No, we have the multiple choice. Now, in the research environment, because their mode of collecting responses is, they will say they are doing qualitative or quantitative analysis. This is basically used for qualitative analysis, where you have options for the respondent to choose from. I'm going to, so this is sex, example, sex or gender. When we use gender, that is the modern way of seeing sex into brackets. And then I have my options, which is male and then female. And then female. Okay. Because this is a categorical variable. A categorical variable, yes, but it's a two-way dichotomous variable that is in the research environment. That's how they call it. And with this, because they are not going to be looking at the number of males, they're actually coding it to have a value on it. So they are putting a value. They are representing these options here with values. So they'll ask you, can I code my options? So the answer is yes, you can code your options. To do that, you click on the more options, and then you go to edit codes. Now, when I go to edit codes, I'm representing the option here, the male by, say, 1. That is my option for 1. And then the coding for the female is 0. When I export these responses, anytime responses comes in, and then I want to analyze, I want to visualize it. I have represented 1. I've represented male with 1 and then female with 0. So when I populate my responses, I will see 1 and 0. In that case, you can visualize these responses, because when it says a string, hardly can you visualize a string during your analysis when you're analyzing your responses. So this is how you code your responses. We have another option where you clear all the options. Assuming you have about 100 responses, you want to be deleting them, you made a mistake, you have to clear on. When you click on the clear all options, that is what you choose. What is that? Now you go to manage options. Okay, so the manage options is You want this option to be seen. The number of occurrences is 1, or you want this option to be selected automatically by default. There has to be a male there has to be a male respondent within the household. So I'll make it mandatory. When I check this, it means that this option has to be selected by all means before the response, that particular response load can be submitted. So I'm putting a mandatory restriction on this option. Then I can say, okay, it has to be the number of occurrences once there is a male within the household, and then the person select male, this option shouldn't appear again. That is the number of occurrences. How many times it should appear within a response time, or when I'm collecting a response for the household. Okay, I just want one person to be a male. The rest, I don't care. That is how you manage all these responses. So assign a code to each option. So while downloading reports, the code will be displayed in the exported data. I don't want to do this, so let me just put it by 0, and then I submit. Now I can accept other. Now, anytime I do this, I toggle on this switch, and then the person clicks on other. What it means is that the person has to specify the other. That is what it means. If I don't want them to specify for other, I will just enter other as an option. In that case, they can only choose, but they don't need to specify. But if they want to specify, I'll just delete this option and then trigger this on or toggle this on. Then I can accept multiple selections. Now, this is a radio button. When you see this radio button, what it means is that it's just for single select. You can select one at a time. But then when I toggle it on, and it changes to a box, what it means is that you can select more than one option at a time. Okay. Same options, validations attached. Now we have the GPS coordinate. We have the GIS. So the GPS coordinate is getting to know the exact location that the household or wherever you are collecting the responses from. So when I click on GPS, I would be asked, okay, please capture. Then this is the label. This is required, basically. The difference here is the deviation. So the deviation is right now is in 6 meters. The deviation is the radius of where you are standing. From the point you are standing, the options of capturing the coordinate should be within 6 meters. So where you stand, you make a circle of a radius of 6 meters. Now within the 6 meters, the coordinate can be captured from any of this 6 meter duration. How do you call it? Deviation. The lesser the deviation, the better the accuracy of where you are standing. Now, the higher the duration, the less accurate of where you are, the coordinate you are getting. So if it's 15 meters, what it means is that from where I stand, then when I make a radius of 15 meters, from within that 50 meters, the coordinate can be captured anywhere. But whether 12 meters from where I'm standing, 10 meters, 5 meters, 2 meters, this is what it means. That the advantage of extending your deviation is that when it is more, when it is 15, it becomes easy for the device to capture. So it's easy to capture because you are not stressing the system to get more accurate coordinate. Now, when you reduce it, it takes a very long time to get the best coordinate. We call it, it's using how do you call it, principle of operation for illustration, or a calculation to do the coordinate capture. I think we have this on in the user manual, so you can read more about it. So I'm going to take off. Okay, let me just keep this. Let me maintain this. Oh, sorry. GPS. I've set it, and that's it. I go to the GIS polygon. So the GIS polygon is almost the same, but this is actually capturing the area of a place or a piece of land. So you want to know the size of your farm. You use the GIS polygon because it is used to capture area size of a place. Now, with the GIS polygon, you can set the units. You can make it in acres, in hectares, or in square meters. Whereas the GPS, you don't change this. So that is the difference between the GPS and then the GIS polygon, basically. And then the same deviation also counts. I'm not going to use this. Let me change it. Let me switch it to a different question type. I have the text question type, which is used to capture a continuous variable, how do you call it, open-ended. So this is used to capture open-ended responses. Being it a name, so what is your name? I can use this to capture your name. I can use this to capture a very lengthy statement. So I can ask you, tell me about yourself, which is not just a one-line statement. In that case, when I talk about tell me about yourself, talk about yourself. Okay. Now, because it's going to be very lengthy, I would have to extend the text box where I'll be entering the options. So accept multiple lines. It means that I've given enough room to enter whatever I want to enter. But initially, without this, it is just one line like this. It's row, just one row for you to enter all the options you have. Now, if I enable this, it means that I'm going to have more rows, extra rows to enter my options, depending on the number of characters I want to choose for. So basically, this is what this happens. This is what it does. Now we have the date, which is used to capture date as a question type. So I want to know the date of birth or the date you purchased this item. So it is used to capture date. We have the signature. The signature, you just have to set it as a question. It is used to capture signature question types. You set it as a question, and then the person can just scribble or use the finger on the screen of the phone or the device and capture. You don't need a third-party device to capture the signature. We have the fingerprint, which actually you demand you are supposed to use a third-party device, because you need the fingerprint capturing device or the biometric device to be able to capture the patterns on the finger, the contours of the finger. So you need currently we support the Secogen Hamster Plus and then the Secogen Hamster 5 devices. I think we have videos on that on YouTube. We have all the videos on these question types. We have the tree question type. So the tree question type is a multi-level question type. So an example is location. Let me just, so the location, when I say Greater Accra, I mean, okay, so which continent or which country do you come from? Now, from the country, I want to look at it from the perspective of the continent. So I will say, okay, Asia, Africa, I'm sorry. Asia is my first option. So the continent. And then if I have my options, I just type my options here. Now you can use this to copy and paste a list of options you have. Maybe you have them in an Excel sheet, a very lengthy one, about 1,000 options or 1,000 labelings. You can just copy and then paste them here. And when you paste them, you just click on done, and everything will be pasted here. But you can as well type them one. So Asia, Africa, and the rest. I made a mistake. Okay, so I can just edit and then click on done. Now, once I am done, I click on Asia. Now, countries. So I'll say country. When I click on this, everything that I will enter here would be under Asia. So, for instance, I start China, and then when I select Africa, it disappears because the options I give was for Asia. So, in the next level of this question type, every option cascades into the previously entered option. So all the options here cascades into this. Now, when I move into the next one, I can say province or let me just standardize it. Let me see. Africa can come inside. So when I go to Africa, I would enter option Ghana. And then I'll see Greater Caribbean, GRAS. When I come back to here, I need to enter. So this level cascades, the region cascades into the country, and the country also cascades into the continent. So you can use this question type to do a lot of things. For instance, you go into a boutique, they want to create a profile for ladies wear. Is it trousers? Is it this? Is it panty? You can put all these things in that level using this question type. Then you give your question the variable label. So I'll see location. That's my location. Okay. Now we have another question type. That is the calculation. Now the calculation is used to calculate already entered options. So for instance, if I had a question like, did you buy water during the last 7 days? You said yes. Then I ask how much. I bought 20 cedis. Did you buy beans, gobe? For the past 7 days, you say yes. How much? Now I want to give you your expenditure for the past 7 days, and so I'll add the amount of money you spent on water, the amount of money you spent on gobe. I can do that using the calculation question type. Now, so when I come here, I just maybe expenditure for the past 7 days. And then I click on the formula calculation. Now I'll choose from these options whether it's sum, product. So sum is plus, product is times. We call it multiplication, then division over this, over that. The difference then is in. So these are also different options you also use. So I want to know the sum because I'm saying I want to know your total expenditure for the past 7 days. And then I'll come and choose the questions, the amount you spent for water. I'll come and choose that. How much did you spend on water? Assuming I have that one, I will just click on it to choose. Now, when I choose, the check sign is attached to that particular question type. And then assuming if I had how much you spent, how much gobe did you buy, then I'll check on that one too. So it is going to give me the summation of these two options. So anytime an option is entered, a response is given on this particular question type. When it gets to the calculation, automatically it will sum up the difference, or it will sum up it will add them up. Yeah, that is a better way of describing. So basically, that is what the calculation question type does. Now you can decide to show the agent. You want the agent to see on the device, you can check this so that the agent will see the summation, or you can uncheck it such that when the responses comes in, there will be another column to do your calculation for you that you don't need to manually calculate. So that is what happens. In that case, the agent doesn't see it. We have the similar validation, the help text. Okay, so we have the help text, whether it should show minimum and maximum, the skip patterns, autofill, and then checkpoint. We have on all the question types. And then we have the QR and then barcode. So then the QR barcode, what it does is that you have encoded options or information, and then you want to be able to read the information. Now, the difference between the QR code and then the barcode is that the QR code is a two-dimensional question type or data caption or previewing type. It stores a lot of information, more than the barcode. The barcode is a one-dimensional. It stores very small and it's very big in size. So the more the information, the bigger the barcode. But with the QR code, very small, but it can take a lot of information. So that is the difference. So I will use my QR code. I have I have a question type I've printed. This is when you go to the mall, you have QR codes on some of the products. Now, when you get to the counter, they will use a scanner to scan and then get to know the information about the information that has been profiled for that product. So if it's a telly, the model, the cost, the blah, 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 all those information are going to be available. But when you see it on the device, on the product you pick, you will not see it until the QR code reader is used to read. And then they would it will translate it from that picture into text. Basically, that is what the tool does. Now, after creating all your questions, I'm not going to use that, so I'm just going to cancel it. I think we are done with the question types. Yeah. After creating your question, you publish, you save. You can toggle on the auto publish. So when I toggle it on, anytime I save, it automatically publishes. Now, mine is not published because I've not paid for this account. This is a new account for the demo. I just created for the demo. And then I've already created a form. You know, with a new, you have 7 days trial for one form. I've already created a form. So this is the second form. That's why this is not able to publish. But if this was the only option, it was the only form, you'd see publish because I've already published it. You'd see the status changed from not published to published. This is the access code you share with your agent, and then the response can start coming in. Now, anytime you've invited somebody, I invited Simone. Simone comes to say, oh, what is this questions? I think you're supposed to add this question, you're supposed to add this. She has access to it. She can do the editing or adding extra questions. Anytime I come into my form, I want to see the activity log on the form. I'll come in and I'll see Simone did this. And then every activity Simone has done on the form will be here. So that is the activity log for you. Now, once the responses start coming in. Okay, so this is the single occurrence. Let me just finish this. This is a single occurrence data structure which we just created. If I want to add a multiple occurrence, like I said, all I have to do is that I have to come to the more options and then click on insert subform or embed a subform. The difference between insert a subform and then embed a subform is that the embedding a subform is you have another form you have created, and there are questions on it, or the questions on that form you want to bring all those questions here. You don't need to type them again, or it takes a lot of time. So you choose this option of embed a subform. Now, when I choose the subform, I give a title for the subform, say household, and then I would go into the question. So I already have a form. I want to bring this form and then use this form as my multiple occurring data structure. I just have to embed it this way. I can give a keyword for it. I can set a skip logic, a validation, or a checkpoint on it. Then I save. Now, anytime they get to that particular section, it is a multiple occurring data structure. This set of questions would be appearing for the person to choose. Even though I did not set the questions here, but these questions will be available. So if you can check on this on your you can download the Insyt mobile application from Play Store, and then you can just use this access code to access the form you just created. Okay, so that is it. Now, if I want to use the insert a subform, so the insert a subform, I will just give the household details. But here I am going to add questions on what I want to be answered within the subform. Now, these are the question types we choose from. So text, image, like we spoke about. So I'm going to use text for, say, name of member. I can add another one, or I can set validation and script logic on this. I can say, okay, I'm going to give a help text. We've spoken about this. So every option that was available at the single occurrence, when we're creating the single occurrence data structure for the form, all those options are available here. And the minimum, maximum, the regular expression, you make it mandatory, you accept multiple lines. All these are also available here. Now I can add another question and then say age. So age is a number. I can decide to choose, okay, then I go to number. I can open the validations and then provide script. I can add gender. Now, this question, what it means is that when it gets to that sub form, that multiple occurring, the name and then the age would be repeated. So whenever I'm asking this member, my child, then I move to my second child. I'll enter the name of my second child and then the age. Now I'll go to my third child. I'll enter the name and then the age. My wife, enter the name and the age. So that is the multiple occurring. It goes to one particular person, one particular household, or one particular respondent. That is it about the difference between the embed and then the insert. So when you want to embed, this one, when you want to insert, this way. In the research environment, this is what they'll be asking you. Okay, so can I create a form for a multiple occurrence? Or they'll say, can I create a form to capture member details? Yes, you can, using this feature. We have the edit title page. You can use the title page. So whenever you get to maybe section 5, okay, you can say, okay, this is section 5, and then you paginize, and then you nicely do all your nice presentation of the particular section you are. Now you can do the edit page for each page you've added here. Now we have 3 pages. Page 1, and then the page 2 was the one you used to embed the form, and then the page 3 is just what we inserted. I can decide to change the how do you call it, the allocation of their pages. So when I go to here, I can just drag and drop, changing the positioning. Click on OK. So now my page 1 becomes the embedded form, and then it goes on and on. So these are the options: you order, you delete page, you insert. You have the move questions, and then we have the delete questions. When you want to delete a set of questions, series of questions, you don't need to delete them one of them. You just select them and then delete them. Then it work. You can add, you can move, you can paginize your form. You can make new pages. You make your, okay, on my page 1, I want only 3 questions to be on page 1. I want 5 questions to be on page 2. So as you paginize them, you just be adding your questions. If you are done with this section, I don't want to write it about it and delete it. Okay. Now, once your response starts coming in, you go here. Oh, let's save it. This is where your responses, you see your responses. You see them listed here. Because I don't have any response for this form, there is nothing showing here. Now you can manage your response. You can filter the responses that are coming in. So assuming I enabled the draft response, remember when I was creating the form, I said draft response, so that agents, the owners of the form will see how many saved responses the agent has saved on their device. If I turn it on, when I come to draft, it will filter every draft response on the devices the agent are collecting responses from. Let me switch. At this point, I need how do you call it, responses on the form to be able to talk about the rest. So I'm going to switch onto a different space where I think I have a bit of responses, and then I can let's see. I have responses. I think I have responses on. That's what it's doing. Okay, so let me just, I think I have 4 responses. Okay, so these are the responses I have for this form. Okay. Now, I can click on this, and then it will give me the details of the form I just clicked on. These are the question types. You can reject. It has been rejected. So this was the status. It has been rejected. Okay, I didn't want them to do this. That's why I rejected. So to reject, you just come to here, enable that part, and then just click on reject, save, or you can edit the options The person was trying to type Medina, then he or she typed Medina. The Medina or Medina, whatever. So I can change the options. When I click on edit option, then I go into, I realize, okay, it's supposed to be Medina. It's supposed to be not A. Once I'm done, I save the changes. Okay, so I'm good to go. I can see, check the log, activity log, how many minutes it took the person. So with the research environment, you want to be able to analyze how many minutes did it take this particular agent or this person to respond to this question. Assuming about 50 questions and the person answered within, the response duration is 2 seconds or 5 seconds. I mean, the person didn't even do anything. He didn't go through the question. So these are some of the things they would need in their analysis. How long it took the person to respond, which are the date the person submitted, when did the person start collecting the responses, or who submitted those responses. All these options are there. Now, I just want to move from here, and then let me go to the dash. Okay, I'll go to the dashboard first. So basically, this is what you do. You can export it into an Excel file, and then you use it for your retrospective analysis to get there. So basically, that is it for this. We have the filter. We have the search, the advanced search. So with the advanced search, these are the questions. So if I want to filter my options based on the community that was entered. I think I don't have the option. Okay, I don't have Greater Accra. Okay. Then I'll enter the Greater Accra. Greater Accra. Now, when I click on search, it will filter every Greater Accra. Sorry for my. And then okay, so because I typed wrongly, that's why. That's what it does. Now let me move to the report. Now with the report, we have response summary, agent location. So you want to track the location of the agents. Remember when we were starting the form, I said the agent has, you need to be able to track behind the scene the agents where he or she is collecting the responses from. So now this is the last location the agent went to. And then we have the all locations. So when I select all locations and then I select, okay, my form was in black. You could see that Kakari submitted 2 responses, but because I had not enabled the track responses, it is 0. The tracking is 0. Likewise, Otis Adomako also did that, and it's also 0. I think I need a different options to be able to show this. But then if it had been tracked, you would have seen the number of track. If it's 2 responses, you see 2 tracked here. If it's 1 response, you see 1 tracked here. And then when you click on it, it will take you to the exact location the response was collected from. So basically, that is what the agent's location does. And then you want to know the performance. You want to know their performance, individual performance. Okay, this person collected response on 1 day. But if it was for a time period, we see the time series, we see it moving. Okay, on this day he did this, on this day he did this number of things, on this day he didn't do anything, on this day. So you see them in a time series, how they call it, graph. Likewise, Kakari. So you can see what Kakari did on day 1. He did this, and then the second day he did 2. So you can see it, moving like that. You can save this option for whether it's JPEG, whether it's PDF, whether it's SVG. You can save it. And you use it for your analysis. And then we have the maps. So okay. So now this gives me the option to have a street view. Because I had a question type that was GPS. Let me go to that place before. Okay, so okay, so I had a question type GPS, which was a question for them to capture GPS. Now, when I come to the report and I go to maps, I see the exact place that question was answered. I can click on it and then see the individuals where the individual respondent. So basically, that is what this does. Okay. So these are the responses. You can have a speed view of it. So that is it for the maps. And then we go to the analytics. Now, remember I said you can switch to the analytics using the site, this hamburger menu, or you can come here and then you proceed. It will switch from this current space. So the analytics is also a standalone app on Insyt. You can bring your data, your retrospective data you've collected, your responses you've collected some time ago using different applications, but you want to visualize it. You can use the Insyt application, the Insyt Analytics to visualize that. And when you come here, you can create a dashboard. So we have the home. This is where you make sure the file you are uploading is a CSV file. We recommend the CSV. It has a lot of validations. That's better. So you can use it. Then you come to visualize. You can visualize a pivot table, a pie chart, a bar chart, a group chart, a group bar, a stack bar, line. So basically, yes. Now we have, sorry, we can also put a filter on it. You can explore the data. So this is the data I have from my space. You can create the dashboard. So we have the template. You can just edit them and so we just click on it. So if I want to create a dashboard for my live data, I can do that. This is the data side, the data source, the data set source. So this is the form I'm picking, or I'll be choosing my responses from to create the dashboard. Then I'll just give a name for it. I'll just choose, okay, is it amenities? If it's this, is it count? Is it unique? Is it average? Once I'm done, I can even add a color. I can add a color to it. So the background color is currently white. I can change it to say different color. And then, yes. Okay, so change color. I can edit the title. I can edit the title. And then I can also maybe amenities or proportion of amenities or number of total count. You can go on and on and on. You have a table. You can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And then where to choose your. So if you are going to use a retrospective, so this way you are choosing your files from. I only have one form that is active that has responses, so this one. But if I was going to use a retrospective, this is where I'll upload it onto the space and then I can do my visualization. Basically, this is the analytics part. So let's switch back to Insyt and then we'll continue. We are going to finish Insyt. Okay, so where is the form? Okay, this property up. Now we go to the geofencing. Geofencing is actually, setting a boundary for your response. I'll not go into details. So basically, you want agents to go to. So this is also it's used by the MNEs. They want agents to be picking responses from exact location, and then so you do the mapping for them. Once you do the mapping, a code will be given. Now you assign that code to the agent, and then the agent can really submit responses, or can even start capturing the responses when he or she is within that space, that boundary. Else he or she cannot submit the response. So that is it about the geofencing. That is about the geofencing. You can just pick you rule a line. I'm just doing it. So when I rule the line, this is my boundary. This is the code. So if I want Simon to collect responses within this set boundary, I'll just give Simon this code instead of this code. Instead of this access code, I will not give this to Simon. But because I want Simon to be collecting responses from this location, I'll give Simon this code. Then Simon will be able to access this same form from this location. That is it about. You can change the name. You can
Otis, we can't hear you.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened?
Oh,
Your internet went off?
yeah, my internet went off.
Oh.
These people. Okay, so yes, so this is my form settings. Now when I come here, I can make changes to it. I can set a status. Now, you remember in the earlier point I shared with you, I said we could talk about the status management. Now you can add a status to the already default created system status. So we have the OK, we have the verified, we have the rejected. Now if I want to add extra, say pending. Now pending is there. I can now change the color to say green. Yes. And then do I want agents to see? I can do this. So agent sees this. Now this become my newly set status. Now when I go to responses, and then I select this particular response. Now the newly created status would be attached, and then I can change the status of this response to the newly created one. Remember, I used the color green. So yes, in the final, my colleague Aisha, did some form for some people in the financial institution where the people apply for loan. So what happens is that the agents go to the market women, the market women do what they call the susu, the contribution, and at the point when they accumulate, their susu accumulates to a certain amount, they can apply for loan. When they apply for loan, then the agent will come and tell them that, oh, okay, my boss said this, it will be ready next week. No. When you create a status, so for instance, loan application, loan approved, loan pending, you can create all these status for your form, provided you are in the financial environment. You can do this for them, and then anytime their response changes state from one department to the other, they will be able to see on their space. So if the agent is on the field and it says, oh, the person works with you. So what is the status of my loan application? Then quickly there will be a folder there that says that loan, approved loan, or pending loan. And then when he or she goes into it on the mobile device, you'll be able to see, or she'll be able to see the number of loans that have been approved from the web, and then the number of loans that are still pending. And he or she can say, oh, yours has been approved or yours is pending. So that is basically what she did. And then the people, they were so amazed when she came up with that flow, and it worked perfectly. So Insyt is about getting to understand what they want. It's an all-round application, getting to know what they want, and then you can customize, bring some question types, and then bring the idea together, and you can create a very wonderful tool for them to use, depending on the space you find yourself in. So this is it for the status. So when you come here, that is it for the status management, and then the keyword. This is actually I wouldn't want to talk about this now, so we'll talk about this in a later time. When I got to the validation, I stopped. Now, let me go back to my form, my initial form. Okay, this is the form I created. This is the form we created actually. So that was the demo. Okay. My page one, okay. So let me just do this. 3 other pages. Okay. So let's assume that this is for a household member questions. And then I say how many are in this household? From household members. Yes, present. Then I choose a number. I want to know the number of people that are present. Okay. Then I say this is required. Okay, done. Now I go to the subform. Remember the subform repeated. I said the multiple occurrence data structure. So I want the number of people present to answer this question. And so I'm going to set a validation on it. Then I choose my validation as a value of that question, household members present. So if the person said 5 members, this would be populated 5 times for each member to fill. When the person does the 4th one without doing the 5th one, because there's a validation rule on it, he or she cannot submit until he completes the 5th one, because you said 5 people were present. Else he has to go back and then change the number from 5 to 4 on the mobile application. And then we have the sum, we have the difference, we have the scheme. These are all the other rules applied for the validation. Now, the skip logics, we call it skip patterns or the conditional branching. You can use this to skip some options. So, for instance, you're asking a man if he's pregnant, when you know pregnancy is not related to a female gender type. So you can skip that question depending on the gender option selected. So if it's a male, pregnancy questions doesn't count. So that is it about the insight, the ins and outs of the Insyt mobile application. And when we have time, maybe the next demo, we can go into how to create a very wonderful, like very, nice dashboard. These are the wow factors on Insyt. Honestly, these are the wow factors on Insyt. That when you get there, you begin to see, oh, can I see this? Can I visualize the data coming in from those M&Es, the research environment? That is what they want to see. Now, somebody will ask you a question. When you go to the M&Es, they will say, oh, okay, so I use a different application to collect responses. Can I use your system to do a follow-up on it? We call it the baseline and then the midline or the end line. So we call it the midline. So you're going to create a midline survey using an already captured information from a baseline survey. Now, let me just switch back to the Insyt application, and then I'll tell you how you do that. I think it's going to take I'm just going to give you a brief description of how that is done. Now, when I come to the horizontal kebab menu attached to the create form, I'll click on start review exercise. So now the review exercise is creating a midline from the baseline you did. Now you give the name for it, and then you give a small description of what it is. Then you import when you go to the next. So let me just do this. When you go to the next, because you already have responses that you've collected, you can just import those responses here. If it's an Excel sheet, you can just import them, and then you go to the next option. And then because I've not selected anything, let me just try and do something. Okay, so let me just see this. I'm not sure it will work. Then I go to the next option. Then it will ask me to bind the options I have to which form. So I have these 2 forms within my space now, demo and then World Bank phone survey. So the review exercise, the responses that I am bringing on board, which form do I want to bind them to? I want to bind them to the demo. Then I just click on finish. So quickly, it failed because the data I just attached was wrong. I told you earlier now. But let me come here. Sorry. So the form I created is because I used the wrong list, and that's why. Then I choose. I'll look at that. Okay, let me just use this. I think this. Okay, then I just bind it to this. Okay, it failed. But so basically, this is where you get to bind, and then you can assign the responses to people. We have seen the responses listed here, and then I can assign those responses to agents. So if I have an agent in Tamale, so I have a friend in Tamale, I want the person to continue with the data collection. So I will assign every response that came from Tamale to him, and then I just push it. Then when on his device, you see the responses that has come in a review list. You have a review list. When he goes into it, it will direct him. If GPS was captured during the initial phase, it will take him like the way the Uber works or the map, the Google map works. It will direct him to the exact place the response was collected. If it's a house, it will take him directly to the house. If it's how do you call it? If it's the workplace, it will take him directly to the workplace using the map. So basically, that is what the review does. When he goes there, you see the name, the house number, which was already collected, and then you can continue feeding information or collecting responses to top up what is already available. So basically, this is what the Insyt application, the Insyt mobile application, Insyt web and the mobile application does.